Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out Tower of God Season 2, Episode 13. This is like the halfway mark of this season, and I feel like that means we're gonna be gearing up now. We've agreed to go to the workshop battles, so as we're finishing up some of the plot lines for this first half and setting up what we need to get into the workshop battles, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do this, honestly, because part of me is sometimes the animation's okay, sometimes it's janky, sometimes I really like the elements that they're bringing in as they adapt this into the anime, and sometimes I'm like, that feels like a weird, not quite well placed edit or whatever. I don't know why Novik's job in this season is to go, huh? That's the majority of his lines. I don't know. We'll get what we get, I guess. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oddly ominous silence at the beginning. Yes, with a fighting spirit. Yeah, not exactly. It's still so fascinating to me the way that like Wangnun's personality changes depending on who he's with, right? Like he definitely has like a persona. I just haven't gotten far enough to be able to learn everything about him yet. We'll get there in the webtoon. I'm determined. I don't know why I'm getting like a whole cold opener that's summarizing the end of the last episode. But sure. I'm like, yeah, I remember what happened. I was here. Because I'm thinking, isn't this like, if they would have split up the season, I'm assuming they would split between this episode and 14. But I don't actually know because I did not watch it while it was airing, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Ugh, I'm so excited that Rock is like coming back into the story. I just get it. My sweet darling is just so important to me. Even just getting to see like some of the other characters from season 1 in the last episode just makes my heart happy. I was so excited at this part reading the webtoon too. I was like, are we all gonna meet up again? I just want to be able to care about all of my characters simultaneously. Even though they're more like fractured at this point. We'll get there. Sort of. Don't worry about it. Ooh, this might also be the last time we see this opener. Again, I'm assuming like the next episode is going to be like a different part. Right? Like a different like section. By the rules set by years of anime experience. Like usually we hit like 12, 13 episode mark and it becomes like a different era. Correction there. And he does not bag easily. I'm just saying. Ooh. Interesting like lineup shot there between Wangnun and Kun. Very similar expressions. Like just like, why would you say no? It doesn't make any sense. They work a little bit differently with this team. The smug smile in the back. She knows what she's doing. She likes to stir the pot. He also literally said there's no way you can refuse. Yeah, he doesn't think like super highly of you at this point. I love the music cue. It's like it sounds very like video game, like a little bit jaunty, but also like in contrast to the weight of the decision that they're making. Mm-hmm. Close up on that ring. Only one way to get better. It's not very optimistic thinking. And I love that he's like his face is in shadow for this too. Because it's like all of the doubt coming through. He just wants to make sure you really understand where he's coming from. The confidence. He's not like entirely wrong though. He does tend to do fairly well. The previous team getting wiped out notwithstanding, but they were like they needed him to be elsewhere to accomplish that. I also really like that Kuhn's face like throughout this is like half shadow, half light. Right? Like he's very confident, but he's also struggling with the loss that he just had. He's like friends with Bomb, but he's also ruthless, right? Like he's constantly in this place of like on the boundary of good and questionable. I don't want to say bad, but like, you know, he's not always doing the best that he possibly could from like a moral standpoint. You are, remarkably, despite this one's efforts. Agreed. That's also my reaction to seeing him. Aw, look at them just having juice boxes. Oh, I remember you. You're you're staticky. Just thought you ought to know. I find it so interesting that we have like we see Bomb's eyes there, whereas like Reflecchio, I honestly don't know if I pronounced his name right at any point, but like we can't see actually see his eyes because of the mask. Right? Like the two facing off, but like one showing who he truly is and one not. The chaos. To be fair, Wangnan is very good at running away. And I mean that in the kindest way. He rolls like that, okay? He likes control. It's a whole insecurity thing. Interesting use of like a lot of reds around Wangnan in this episode. Like between like the ring, the drink, his shirt. Dismissed. Ugh, I'm so glad to see him up and about, like, raring to go. I mean, justice for Dan. It's just a challenge. Oh. Emily is not to be trusted, generally speaking. Also, I don't know if telling Emily our plan is also a good idea. Great use of lighting throughout this episode. And the angle here. What a cutie pie. Yeah, rest. Don't pluck my heartstrings. They're so adorable. Concentrate. The only one actually resting. Or trying. I'd be so mad. Just an exhausted single parent. Rest is important. Oof. Keep your cool. I know it's like played up for humor, but I do think it's super interesting to lean into like some of those like insecurities and stuff. To be like, yes, they've made it this far, but they've also made it this far with the help of having Violet with them, right? Yes, they have their own skills, but like he's helped them, and also they've had the reassurance of, oh, we have someone with us who is extremely talented and powerful who can pull us through. Keep her cool. I love Dan. Yeah, you can't let that in. You can't let anxiety in. Me neither. The majority of them. Ah! Our sweet boy! And best girl, whoop whoop! Let's go! Great use of lighting. I love the again the shadow half light on Shibisu. Doesn't intimidate him. He's the best hunter. Obviously. Hey. Like the cute like photo, like we passed. Woo! All right. Boy has it. For all the victory. But again, like the cool radio effect there. They've done so many cool things with the sound design in this. Adding in like just having that glitchy audio is like way more scary and intimidating. Right? And then you have this like upbeat music when we are back with Team Sweet and Sour, right? Forgot about the fanboying. Fair though. And Norsey is worth all of this. An enemy to lovers story. She was not going to be impressed. Oof. That like blue sky to like darkness before we transition all the way through to the 30th floor. Of course, you read books. Nerd. I say lovingly because I also would be like that. They're so chaotic, and it's just like, what am I part of now? Even like the reverb on that. Sound design team's showing up for this show. I don't think it was sad. Angry, yes. He really does like roofs, doesn't he? Cute little smiles. Yeah, I don't think you know who you're picking a fight with right now. I love that despite all of the kind of comedic beats of this, introducing some of the adversaries that we're going to be dealing with in the next part of the season are like taken very seriously, and it kind of like hits more even with like the subtlety of like hinting at who they're going to be because we have the comedic beats, right? Like if the whole episode was played a little bit more seriously, those little hints wouldn't stand out as much. That was like barely a bow. I mean, like what happened last time we tried to look at somebody in the eye. I just like that Novik has more lines. Actual words. Look at him go. A lot of the others are here somewhere. Ooh. Oh, that's a whole thing we're gonna be dealing with. Sure. Ooh, wait, I was gonna not watch to the end, but there's like a whole little clip at the end, so I apologize that the timing is gonna be all weird in the corner, but I'm gonna watch it. It's like the last like 30 seconds. Even though I'm probably gonna know what it is, but yeah, it's a whole thing that's gonna be going on. Why is that what we're doing for the chibi? A little hint at the end of some of the stuff that we're going to be dealing with going into workshop battles, right? Like the excitement, again, of the next part of going into workshop battles instead. But like I was saying during the reaction, I do really like that we had some comedic beats with this. We've been dealing with some heavy stuff over the last few episodes, so I think that having a little bit more of a comedic lean is a good way of lifting up some of the storytelling, especially if we're going to be launching in to all the stuff that happens in the workshop battles and all of that. But also because we're introducing all of these other dynamics going into it, right? The doubts of Team Sweet and Sour and a lot of the other characters and some of the things that they're going to be struggling with as we progress with the story, but also introducing these adversaries, right? These other characters that are going to be important as we get into the conflict of the next part of the story. I like that they're played very seriously in this episode in contrast to the humor, right? So the humor is making the kind of hints at who these characters are feel more sinister, have a little more impact, even though you're not revealing a lot, right? Like they don't have to reveal a whole lot to make those moments stick out because it contrasts with those comedic beats so much that even just the subtle hints of what these characters are going to be like is enough to make them stand out and change up that vibe as we go forward. So I looking forward to seeing how they adapt this. I honestly don't know. I really like this story, and I do really like a lot of the mixing of characters that we had in season 1 and season 2 like finally coming together, and I was like so excited to get to the storyline when I finally did. But I'm honestly not sure in terms of adapting. I can definitely understand where people are coming from with some of the critiques that I had before I got into the season. I have a bit of a mixed feeling going into the second half, because on the one hand, I feel like they picked up some of the animation in the last couple of episodes, but also we didn't have a whole lot of action, right? Like, we didn't see the test that Team Sweet and Sour went on. We got a lot of kind of reused footage in this episode, so I don't know how that's going to translate to something like the workshop battles, and I don't know if we're going to get the kind of quality that we had at the beginning of the season to sell those fights and those conflicts the way that I want them to, especially if we get like season 1 characters. I'm like, I know how cool their fighting style looked in the first season, and I know it's not going to be as stylized, but if you cannot meet at least that in terms of how cool their powers were like shown to me, I don't know if it's going to hit the way that I want it to. So I'm lukewarm going to the next season. I'm probably going to watch it anyway, but it definitely makes me like a little bit less, I don't know, excited, because I'm not entirely sure what we're going to get with it. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.